All right. So I will just keep it simple. So we will do like an interview, and it's going to be more like this discussion, me and you, but this will just be recorded and also uploaded then on our social media. That's
Sure.
how usually I do it, and it works better. You know, and we'll just ask, simple things. What's the basic purpose of Brickken? So, we have covered already, but I think it's very good for the people to hear it
Of
anyway.
course.
Then I ask questions like what's how is doing the project now? What's the future plans? I will in between. I will say also that actually from the beginning that I'm also part of the project. So it gets proper uh, review and everything.
Of course. Sure. Let's go. No problem.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this video. Welcome to this interview. In this interview, I have the honor to interview the CEO of Brickken. And today, this video, we're going to do questions and answers. So we're going to learn more about this great project. I myself also, I joined recently. I joined the team as an advisor. I'm very happy to announce also for one more time officially here that now I'm also advisor for marketing, community adoption, and much more things. So welcome to this interview.
Oh, thank you, Janice, for having me and inviting me to your channel. Looking forward to having a conversation with you. Now we have a lot, but it's important now with the public to also go a little bit more in detail as to what we do in Brickken or where is this collaboration leading and maybe what is the vision itself, right?
Exactly, exactly. So I myself, I start learning more about Brickken and join since you started pre-sale in March, and I really think that this is one of the best innovative projects on the blockchain. But I would like also to hear from you. What is the purpose of Brickken project? Like what is trying to achieve? And yeah.
Yes, of course. Thanks for that innovation. I mean, right now, bear market is going to decide who was building what and what they were building. There was a lot of the buzzwords. Now we have the opportunity to really prove ourselves that we were here in the space with a real product, with a real utility. And for us, it's an opportunity to really prove ourselves that we can come out stronger than the bear market itself is triggering some projects. And in that sense, we are getting very good feedback from what we're building, which is basically tokenization, right? There's been a lot of buzzwords about tokenization and real estate, but real estate is just like the top crust of the pie. You want to go to the deep
Yeah.
side, and it's basically equity. That's what we're specializing. We want to transform equity into tokens and provide them with this infrastructure. That's why once they become Web3, they can operate in a Web3 environment. So are we literally tokenization? Yes, people understand what we're doing, but we're more than that. We're literally protocolizing, providing infrastructure, providing architecture, because we believe that the economy of tomorrow is going to be token wise. So there's a pain there. To be ready for that, you need a management solution and you need something that can help you become a Web3 company.
Mhm. Wonderful. So this is not on the real estate; it's in everything which has to do with businesses and then equity, etc.
Yes, I mean, we're agnostic in that sense. If somebody wants to use our protocol for real estate, they can. If they want to use it for music, they can. If they want to use it for their startup, they can. If they want to use it for whatever, because us, we don't really specialize in a sector, because for us, equity is still equity. So we transform that equity into tokens. So we don't care. We do care, but not in the sense that, oh, you're not in real estate. No, we cannot help you. No, you have equity. We transform you into tokens and we give you the solution so you can manage those tokens now.
Mhm, mhm. Correct. And I know that you have done a lot of effort until now on creating and building this whole project with your team and everything. But I would like to hear also from you at what stage are we now with the project, like the steps that are done until now.
Of course. So Q1 2020, where when we got incorporated or the project started kickstarting. And for the last 2 years, well, year and a half, we developed something that it was our MVP, and we thought it was the way because we were specializing at that time in real estate. So we did something for that sector until we understood the magnitude of what we're doing, and we are like, no, okay, the inception was wrong. It was not wrong, but it was needed for us to understand the know-how. And we started developing almost 9 to 12 months ago the decentralized application with our utility token. And that is going to be our way to, we're super excited that we can deploy it and drop it. You know, when you create something and then year later you create something new. It was too abrupt for us to, it's like, oh, but it's a lot of pain. And it's like, yeah, but we can stay in real estate and just touch the crust, so we can try to go to the big pie again, doing the reflection. So on September, by the end of September, early October, we're gonna be releasing our DApp and testing it now, because we've been using it, but obviously in the sandbox environment, kind of like just testing feedback data to make it better. But our real use cases with that decentralized application is gonna happen in October. But in the meantime, we use our previous product and we're still tokenizing. I mean, we're in a monetization phase. It's just that with the new tech, we think that we are definitely going to be scaling and globally, because anybody can use the product. That's the beauty of it.
Mhm. And I saw that we have already the first project on the website and on the platform, actually doing the tokenization, etc. You want to say us a few things more about it?
About the platform itself, sorry, I got you. I lost you in your first sentence.
Yeah, let me do it. Say it again. So, and we have the first tokenization.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, let me say it again. So properly the question. Okay. So, and yeah, because I'm going to edit, so it's okay. I'm going to edit after. Okay. So, and we have already the first tokenized project on the platform, right?
Yes. Yes, actually, with our current platform that is live, we did two tokenizations this month. We did a 500K of a Panama building, and we did 60K of an equity, which is coming out next week. So we still that's developing that data for us. More than the monetization phase right now, it's understanding the appetite of the investor, the hassles of the issuer, our pains and constraints, because every know-how is embedded into the data. Now, for the DApp, we already have above 30 potential clients who want to use that application, because it's
30.
completely different from the one we have. So we're even FOMOing our clients, and it's like, oh no, you're in the waiting list now, because we've learned so much from the cryptocurrencies, so we have to. I mean, that's know-how, so you know how it is. So we are creating expectations, and hopefully, I don't doubt it that we are going to fulfill those expectations with our new DApp.
Mhm. Cool. And what is the expectation about the Brickken token? Like, how it's going to be influenced from this project listing and founded on the platform, etc. Like, how's it going to work and what's the expectation? You know?
Yeah, so our change was before we were a company using blockchain, and then we decided to become a company of blockchain. So when you issue your own token, I mean, it's not just issuing a token and that's it, which is some of the mistakes I think the space has been doing. There were companies that there was no real use case or utility. So it's like nobody's buying the token, there's no real use. You use it as a crowdfunding mechanism, and then that's why the value was not created. So myself, I've been in the space for since 2016. Some of the members here even earlier. We have one that has been in the space since 2013. He has a funny story about Bitcoin. You should tell him about a hard drive, because he's still telling that story kind of like you're a millionaire in spirit. So it's when we created the utility, we focused that it has to be the epicenter of everything that we wanted to build, right? So
Mhm.
the more we keep building, the more we're learning where can we apply the token to. So obviously, community wise is a way that you create a blockchain project. Everybody believes in the token, and then you can start building knowledge on top of that. And this is what's happening. Some of our holders are becoming, I wouldn't say in quotation man experts, there's no expert thing, but they're like really getting engaged in tokenization and throwing ideas. And that's super powerful for us because it's feedback. But let's say that's what incentivizes users. The use is whoever wants to use our protocol has to pay in our BKN token. Then in the projects themselves, there's going to be collateralization matters, staking matters, where the BKN is going to be the token that is to be used. And we're not going to use euros or USD or stablecoin USDT for providing this. And then we're building up the expert mechanism where third-party providers can aid the tokenization players, and those services have to be paid in our token. Then later we
Mm.
want to create a layer of DAO in the protocol itself, and bounties and all of these things. So the BKN is actually our money. I would say like our intrinsic monetary value is kind of like our euro transforming to BKN, but with the embedded that value that it can be so much because it's code. So we keep developing utilities as we go because everything has to be based on the BKN. That's why we created the BKN, and that's why the DApp itself is very dependent on the DApp. One without the other doesn't exist, and now Brickken without a token doesn't exist. So we have to always focus that the token grows in value, in holders, in believers, in trusters, in an army, with whatever we want to need.
Mhm. Okay. And how easy or how are the steps like for a business? Let's say that somebody wants to organize his business on the platform. So it needs to be a startup with some revenue and experience. Can be a startup like from just from the beginning and presenting their whole let's say business plan and everything, and just to tokenize their business, or like has certain criteria to join the system, the
All
platform.
right. So how we did it in the first phase with what we have is we did our due diligence ourselves, right? So we were establishing if it's a company raised yesterday and you're asking for 1 million, doesn't make sense. So whenever you go into a business, it has to be alignment of interest and alignment of the checklist that we have. We on the second part of the on the DApp, we're not going to be able to automate as the level that we want because we're still learning. So right now people will apply, we request a couple of documents, no more than an exchange will do, because sometimes we have that, it's like you're asking for a lot of documents, and it's like, have you tried to open the corporate site in Binance? That's a crazy big due diligence. So we're not doing more or less. This is the standard wherever you want to engage and see how they do. So we do ask maybe a little bit more because we want to see, like, if there's a business plan, like you're raising 500K for your company. I am a startup. I know if I go to a VC or to my friend or to the bank or to the whoever, I need to know what I'm doing. So we right now drafting a manual checklist which the legal department is doing. But what we hope is that the more data that we can get, the more automatized parts in that platform we can do, because the whole objective is that at certain point, just being, let's say, the visionary here, because we know nothing is fully automated, even though some people say like, yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
yeah,
matter
yeah.
in the
We
back.
have to be human
The
in the back
more
and
yeah, the more we grow, the better and less constraints and the quicker we can do. So right
Mhm.
now, it's not about the, let's say, the stage of the company that they are. It can be like a Series A tokenizing because they want to be a unicorn, but it can also be a company starting in pre-seed where there's a solid team and they know their know-how and they already have maybe a product out there. I mean, in the end, they don't really have to convince us. It's a due diligence. If you go for retail, you have to convince the retail, right? And luckily, making an assumption here is bear markets are good for the ecosystem because then people learn. You know, when you suffer, you're like, okay, next time I'm not gonna believe so much into this coin because it was a scam. So the investor gets more prepared for the next round. So for us right now, it's better what happened, not wishing anybody lost money or anything, but it does have changed conversations that we've been maintaining with investors where they're more skeptical of just flushing their money and then looking for a legit project or a legit form of funding or legit. So that's also putting us in a better situation with the issuers because whatever we request is like the market has changed. There was a loss, a huge loss still losing. We don't know when it's gonna get better, but now you have to convince them better. So come well prepared because the pitch sale is not for me. It's for them who already came from a big crash and they have to believe that with your project, they're not gonna suffer the way they did, for example, with Luna.
True. So you do the due diligence actually to verify that they have the basic criteria as a business, and then the community, the investors will decide if like they want to invest in this or not. Makes sense. Makes total sense. All right. And now also back about the token. I know that the listing of the token is postponed on exchanges, and actually most of the projects that I know right now who were looking to list, they have postponed due to the market conditions. And makes sense because now it's a bit unstable and unsecure what's going to happen, and most are like waiting. to see what's happened and what will happen. So I would like a few words about that from you.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it was a very hard decision, especially, people sometimes when you transmit a news, they don't understand what is the base story, right? So it was
Yeah,
for us, it was very hard for us. I mean, we were super excited, you have this token and you be building the community and everything, and you're waiting there for the launch day, it can be like the best day or the worst day, but still the excitement is there. So we were 3 days before I was supposed to be our launch day, and then the conflict in between Russia and Ukraine happened, and there was some bad news in the macroeconomics in the United States. Tech stocks were dropping, a lot of uncertainty, and we were like, I don't feel safe. And then we have people here who are good in not training, they say like macroeconomics, and they're like, let's start switching our coins into stable because these positions are not beneficial for us. So we started saying like, we're not believing anymore in the market. So why would we maintain our decision when we're skeptical, we're fearful, and suddenly the greed, I say, arrow went into full fear. Now it's like, if we're fearful, the market is fearful. We cannot launch. So we had to make the decision and say, like, we don't know when we're gonna launch. We talked with the community. We even threw them a vote. It's like, you guys want us to launch, or can we delay? And they say, no, don't launch. For us, it was a breather. But we didn't want to make that decision without them, because in the end, they invested with a possible listing, with a possible roadmap, and we had to change the game. And then we started communicating with them more, and they actually know that right now. I'm super happy that we didn't, because some friends projects, they launched and they lost value because one pullback from BTC absolutely crushes altcoins, but with ICOs it's like, dude, it's gone.
it's
It's
even
like
worse.
so much pain.
Yeah, the uncertainty is bigger there with ICOs with the new projects.
Yes.
It makes sense. Okay, so most of the projects they are like from my uh, like experience or like from talking with other projects as well, people from other projects, they are like looking for September, October. They're thinking that there may be a bounce back on uh, at that time. Do you see something there about the market as well? Like somehow
Yeah, I think.
stability or some hope, that will somehow stabilize the market and will let actually the projects breathe and move, because some projects they don't want to do marketing, some others don't want to do listing, or also like this one which makes sense, but it has also to breathe and to move, and can't be for very long just sitting.
No, of course. I mean, definitely summer is gonna be like a reboot in a lot of senses. I mean, people need to relax. We've been in pandemic for the last 2 years. Even movement around was. There's a lot of variables that says like maybe right now there's gonna be a potential that in September the world cools off, and then maybe it's ready for a reboot. I don't want to be the first one trying that there's a reboot, so I'm gonna maintain my position that maybe this year we're not gonna launch. We're gonna understand how the market is gonna react, what are all the projects gonna do. I wish the best to all the projects that decide to launch in September, and if they crush it and I miss it, I'm still happy for them. But for me, I'm well, the company itself with data driven. So we have to really analyze if it's the optimal position, and if not, we delay. The problem, kind of like our community says that like, but you're gonna hold forever. Yeah, but think about it the other way. If we launch and we crash, this conversation will be different, because now you're complaining that I'm not creating further value, but at least I'm not losing your value. So you can be pissed because I'm not listing, but at least you're not hating me because I lost all your money. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like we're trying to incentivize a conversation. It's working. So they're trying to say, okay, fine, I trust you, but if you end up not fulfilling, then it's going to be a different conversation, and that's fine. But at least we'll commit to whatever we think is the best. And it's obviously people think it's, oh, but you have all the coins and it's the company and you're the team. And it's like, it's wrong, because if I kill the company, my work of 2 3 years is evaporated. So it's not like I lose money, I lose years of life. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand, right? So it's kind of like, it's not money can be recovered, but years
yeah.
they cannot.
I think that, for example, I may lose 1 or 2 thousand from the investment, but you're going to lose the whole company for to do the correct move. Yeah, I understand. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense. Okay, cool. Just wanted to also, because I'm sure that a lot of people wants to hear from you itself. Yeah, the plans and what you're thinking about this. And something which I like it is about your team. I meet also the other people that you have, and I see also that you're getting more people on the team to grow. So I would like to hear also a few things about it because the team it's the most important thing to grow a project because it's the
Of
people who
course.
are developing and creating it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we started being five. We're now 24, up to today. So that's a big growth in 2 years, but especially in the last preceding 9 months is when we really grew. And it was, we had the opportunity, we got a Spanish subsidy, we started getting raised from the token. So we did all this plan that we wanted to scale just because we wanted to maintain our position or create a better brand in our position. So it's difficult when you don't have funds. When you have funds and you allocate them smart, which is super difficult because spending money is kind of like you have money, you don't know how it's going to be allocated. But luckily for us, we created a good team that we kind of like we started believing in the decentralization factor. We want to do the good for the community and we here and all that. And we started changing some
Sorry,
perceptions inside the
sorry,
company, and that has helped.
sorry. Somebody's talking here. It's on the
Oh,
because I'm being recorded.
sorry.
Just because it's gonna be on the record, that's fine. Otherwise, I don't care.
Sorry, mates. All right, let's
But,
let's reboot the last question. One, two, three.
wait,
Yeah.
I
So
forgot.
I
What
mean,
was?
luckily,
Sorry, what
oh,
was the question?
I'll
I
answer.
forgot.
It was the
About the
employee
team.
that we grow.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Go
I'll
for it.
answer in the edit. So I'll count to three and then one, two, three. Yeah, so I mean, luckily for us, it's been an opportunity to we received some public funding from the Spanish government. We received some funding through our token in our first stage, and it allows us to expertise more our departments, right? So we started looking for needs that we have, not only in development, but in all departments. For example, I was the lawyer, so I cannot be CEO and lawyer at the same time because I'm gonna fail at one, and I'd rather fail as a lawyer than a CEO because the company is different. So we
Mhm.
started fixing what do we need, and we did a plan of okay, we're gonna hire like this, and this, and that's why we were able to grow fast. Over the last 9 months, we went from five founders to 24 members in the team. So that's super happy. I'm super excited. There's a lot of know-how and excitement and new brains coming in. So our goal is if we manage to successfully raise everything, launch and everything, we're targeting that 2023, we have to finish with 15 members in the company because
Mhm.
since bear market hits and our competitors might be looking for funds, some I know that we're trying to get there and we're negotiating and everything went sideways. We want to send a message that it's like, yeah, this is our space and we gonna own this space and we're as fast as this and we're growing like this. And that way, when our competitors go for BCs and it's like, what is your benchmark? I want to see Brickken in the benchmark and it's like 15 members, 5 million, all of this. And the business is gonna be like, mm, it's gonna be a complicated market for you. But for us, going to the BC is like, what is our benchmark? Mm, we own the space. That's a conversation that I wanna.
Mhm. It's very good. All right. So I think this is the major things that I wanted to ask. Uh, if you want to discuss anything else, like you think it's important to communicate to the people, I can give it to you as an answer. What do you think? Or I just because I have always a question, like anything else that you want to add on this interview, and you can add anything, or you want something specifically to for me to ask because that's I think
Mm.
as the first interview, I think it's the things that we discussed already until now.
All right. So why don't you, if you don't mind asking, what is your next big milestone dropping? So where can we expect news? And then I'll take it
Okay.
from there.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, and now, when can we expect news about the whole project? Good news and next big milestone.
Yeah. So one thing that we've been doing good, it's obviously shooting a lot of PR, a lot of using the social media to be updated. Our Discord channel is very creative. But I would say like the big news that we have too, it's new funds backing us up. We have a news article coming out in the next 2 weeks, so that's going to be good because it incentivizes like, okay, we're building backers, BC Crypto. But for me personally, my biggest news that I can transmit to everybody is listen to us in September when we drop the data. Because with all the clients that we have waited and whatever we're building with the expectations, I think it's going to be a good month. And that's going to position ourselves into me not saying this is what we think we're doing. I want to prove that this is what Brickken is doing. So September for us is the milestone.
Perfect. Anything else that would you like to add to this interview?
No, Janice, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. I mean, we met each other for something and then we ended up having similar thoughts, mentalities. So thank you for jumping in as an advisor. We're super happy and let's build together now.
Exactly. Pleasure, man. It's really cool. Like one of the things that I like about Brickken is that it's not a hype project which will attract to do a lot of big campaigns and to raise millions of dollars, which is good to raise, and you raise an important amount, and then and the project goes up and down, and that they're going to build a few months later, sometime the whole thing. But the Brickken is already built, the whole protocol, it's already there to host the whole projects, any projects, and also investors and everything ready to operate. And I love it.
Thank you.
Cool. So thank you
Awesome.
for your time and see you in the next interview.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. So now I'm just gonna end just give me a second. I want to end the recording. Actually, it's gonna be ended anyway. Okay, so yeah, that's I ended for the video for the recording, but yeah, so I think it was good. It was very cool. I will do that after, and we'll do a share on all the social media for the best result.
Thank you very much, Janice. It was a nice conversation, mate. So let's keep in touch.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Enjoy South Africa, mate.
Thank you. Have a nice day.